Hey guys, gonna make a video on PBM and AIMD. I longed PBM and I shorted AIMD. I'll go over the long first. This is a weak market open long. By weak, I mean they're showing weakness into market open, and it has some type of structure with some type of volume that makes me think the stock could be strong. Obviously, market conditions are showing big pushes are happening, so market supports market open longs. When market gets weak, these longs don't work. Pretty much how it works. So I saw this pretty early. I saw this on, actually, I logged on right before. This is your classic high day clear out short trap. The way the high day clear out short trap works, especially on these like high volume, good consistent volume plays, is you get a high day clear out, you get an instant rejection, and it usually falls to about sometimes a 1 minute 9, but usually the 1 minute 20. In this case, it was a 1 minute 20. The book on this long was super clean. This was one of like the easiest long reads you could have made. Just so you know, if you do make these like momentum longs where it's like high to clear out, bounces off the 1 minute 20, starts rotating back higher. If you're gonna make those longs, you do have to sell some into the high day getting broken, just because this is very aggressive. This is a lot of up only. It's not a lot of consolidation. The bids can leave these stocks really quickly, so it's always a good, just how I was selling into here and into here on my market open long. Um, uh, you never know when the bids are going to stop, and you never know when a 10 or especially in the pre-market where you get these 10 15% cracks with some lower lows, you know what I mean. You never know, so definitely selling the strength at key liquidity levels. But if we go look at the market open long, a couple things we notice is after high day gets put in here, we get a lower high, we get a lower high, we get a lower high. So painted lower highs below high day is always good. There's always a chance of a rotation. The second factor in a weak market open long is you want good volume. This traded a million shares out of the gate, so very nice to see. Very good market open volume. And a third thing that was nice about this is we had the 1 minute 200 right here. This was the 1 minute 200. And when it broke the 1 minute 200, first of all, it broke this pre-market support level, which it's good to see pre-market support levels get broken. Kind of see this bottom right here get broken. And on the book, we'll see that they stacked a ton of bids down here. So we'll go look at that. And then I just sold into strength. It worked really well. So, we could see on my Thinkorswim, here's the 1 minute 200 support. Here's the 1 million shares of volume. Here is this 2.4 level getting swiped, getting broken. I always tell, I told some guys in my room who are trying to learn, my Discord room, information down below about it, how to play this pattern. I'm like, yeah, you usually want to avoid the 930 candle. Even 931 is better than 930. Every once in a while, you do get some type of aggressive move off of 930, but it's almost always best, and you can see it on the book why. It's almost always best to avoid longing the 930 candle because A, it's usually super volatile. It could go up and down 10% really quickly. It's hard to control risk. And B, a lot of times, you can see that they put a bid up right here, right at market open. It pushes, and there's not a lot of bid follow up besides this guy, and this guy gets broken right away, and then there's no bid, so it goes straight down, right? So a lot of times there's either no bid follow up or very minimal bid follow up, or the one bid that gets follow up gets broken, like that type of thing. I always like to see the knife, and I was looking at the pre-market support levels over here. These got broken. Here's the 1 minute 200. You could see the empty order book to the upside. You could see the bid stacks to the downside. And it's not just that there's a nice book with it. It's a nice book in the context of the chart, right? The lower high paint, the good volume, the market conditions, the support level getting swiped. These are good things. They're all bullish. And the low float is bullish. And, of course, we have bid follow-up. This is, if you're long, what happens in weak markets is they'll actually put bids down here. You log into the bids. But on the pushes, there's no bid follow. Here, you could see plenty of bid follow. You see it here, you see it here. But in weaker markets, I noticed that I'll have the same long entries with the same types of pre-market structures and volume and stuff like that. But when it pushes, it'll hit the ask up here with no bids under it, and there's a huge risk of a stock pulling when it does that. Um, but I did take some profit, I think, on this push up here. You could see you could see if there's bids down here, but really no bids falling. Again, no bids falling a stock up doesn't mean it's going to knife. It just increases the chance of it happening. Um, and this type of push here is also a potential long trap, right? Because we're stalling right below high day. That always has risk for them to pull the stock. You do want to sell into some strength when there's not a lot of bids getting filled, and it's usually a good idea. But I was overall bullish the stock. I was trading a ton of volume. The market conditions were good. And here, if we go back to the chart, I called this out right away in my room. So we have a big squeeze past pre-market highs, big instant dump to the 1 minute 20. I keep referencing this because, especially in a strong market, this is how stock low floats move. These big dumps are strong. They're really, really strong. It traps a lot of people chasing this down here. And we could see on the book how strong it is. We could see, like, here's this dump, right? And it creates, look at these bids. They throw up bids. It starts bouncing, and they start throwing up follow-up bids, right? Bids with follow-up bids. And we get some nice absorption where some of these bids actually get sold into. And this could actually be very bullish if the selling stalls and starts to rotate back higher. It's especially bullish when they start getting follow-up bids. Even though a lot of follow-up bids didn't really come until over here. But, it's actually the same thing on the short side. If you flip this upside down, a lot of the best backside shorts have ask getting filled. The ask gets filled and they pull it, right? Like my AIMD video. This is just the opposite, right? This is a momentum play, high volume, and this is bullish. These quick dumps, see this? It unhalts. You get a 80-cent dump straight through $3. These market makers love the swipe support levels like this, right? It's like, if we just go back to the chart, we just had a high day squeeze. It uphalted. What did they do? They swiped $3 support and rip it, right? They're trying to shake people out, and they're trying to lure shorts in and try to shake longs out. But, my average is down here, and I saw this happen. I should have added, honestly. I should have just added. That was the big brain thing to do. Called this out in my Discord right away. I'm like, they're just dumping this to the 1 minute 20. Classic Momo. And look at these quick dumps. Quick dump, squeeze. Quick dump, squeeze. Now, this one, I was getting afraid of how much this would actually push. And at this point, I was up, I don't know, a 40% or something. So, in this market, you can get longs that make you 80, 100, 200%, but it's not going to be every play. Especially I'm longing this, this opened at 1.2, this closed at 1.2, and I'm longing this, and the stock's already up 100%. It's hard to do that. But yeah, that was a nice clean long. And I actually thought this short was nice. And we've been seeing this. We've been seeing a lot of like these. This week was characterized by high a day getting swiped 2, 3, 4 times, followed by a lower high fade with outside of AIMD, really no significant backside paint. Like here, this looks like this $4 level looks super painted. $4, $4, $4, $4. They never came back up to it. So I thought this candle was interesting. Here's the 1 minute 50, 5 minute 9 catching up. And they did we could see it on the book here. They did one of those here, we can see right here. One of these support swipes into aggressive. And this is one of those plays where it's like, you're waiting for a key level to get broken, 3.8. It gets broken, the 3.7, and then it skyrockets up to 4, right? You get one of these aggressive moves. I saw this ask at 4 holding, and I saw all these layers above it too with the no bid follow-up. I really thought about hitting it, but I thought, oh man, in this market, they'll probably come back and attack $4, and I could get a better short. And long story short, I actually thought it might happen here on this. Here's your down only sell off. They rig it, bring it back up. I thought maybe they would swipe $4 here, and it never happened, and I wasn't in a trade. So that is PBM. The other trade was AIMD. I'll pull that up here. I took the screenshot from my Discord in the middle of the day, and I just haven't bothered. I covered a little bit more sub 2, and that's it. But this is my short at the bottom. This is a little trick. If you want to know what else has happened, Seco, SECO, back in October, did this same little trick that just 3 years of trading I have seen over and over again. Now, I was going, so 3.51 here was a single order. It didn't actually break 3.5, but I thought 3.5, this was the same short that I took on LYT yesterday and lost on, where you got this big aggressive move, swiping all these backside levels, but I thought 3.5 was super painted here, and I thought they would pull it. I thought it would go up. It went up to about 3.47. They pulled it back, and I thought they would swipe 3.5 and pull it. So I was waiting for a 3.5 swipe. I was going to take the same short that I took on LYT, but what actually happened is they stacked a bunch of ask right here on the book with no bid under. There's no bids under this at all, with a ton of ask being stacked. And I should have just went in right away, but I was like, I got so fixated on the 3.5 level that I just didn't take it. But anyways, this started trading also a million shares a minute. So this is actually a lot of this was actually very bullish. They were purposely like holding it under 3. So we had fake whole dollar resistance, 3. And not only that, we had good market open volume, and the stock was opening near its lows. In a strong market, these are all bullish. These are all bullish things. I didn't long it because I was too busy longing PBM. And I thought the book on PBM was a little better. The book here was actually really interesting because the thing about here is we get this high volume swipe right at VWAP, but under $3, and dump, and they stacked a million bids here. They stacked a million bids. But I was hesitant to long it, even though I clearly should have. And a lot of people in my room went long down here, which was actually pretty smart. And it did the $3 move I was expecting, but I was not expecting them to swipe $3. I thought in a strong market like this, especially AIMD has been manipulated in the past. I thought this would go like like 3.3 or 3.7 or $4. I thought it would go insane, but they knifed it, and luckily a lot of people in my room were logging it. People who've been paying attention to how the book looks. I mean, we can see how the book looks right here. So there's a couple things. Okay, so here's the book. You could see the bids. They do this VWAP swipe, but under $3, so $3 whole dollar resistance, looking really, it makes it look weak. You make whole dollar, half dollar look really, like heavy resistance, but it's fake resistance. You short trap people, you bring it back up, you squeeze it, right? And I called that out right away. I was like, we could see on Thinkorswim. Here's VWAP, the blue line's VWAP. Here's $3. It's whole dollar. They do the quick dump again. That quick dump in the bids, quick dump in it with good volume, with high volume. This is how the pattern works. And you can see the bids right here. You can see them stack all. They did have some ask come in, but they stacked the bids, and look, they swiped. We got the $3 move we're waiting for, but look, this is the problem. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When there's no bid follow up, sometimes it does keep going. Sometimes bids show up that weren't there before. And sometimes it knifes 15% in like 30 seconds. So that's how it is. But my short was really interesting because if you start to zoom out, you'll notice that there are incredibly painted higher lows here. Super painted higher lows. And higher lows, especially when they're this clean, in this symmetrical is a bearish factor. Higher lows are always a bearish factor because the way manipulation tends to work on the short side is you build up higher lows for a significant period of time. It frustrates shorts because there's no continuation, and it gets longs who are buying the dip in the money, right? Because their risk levels, if you're going long and you're risking the lows and the lows are never getting broken, then you're never getting stopped out, right? Very simple. So I pointed that out to my room. I'm like, these are incredibly painted higher lows. It's a bearish factor. Not only that, the stock went from 1.1 to 3.7, so it had a pretty crazy move already. And it's a extension. The extension is bearish, even though in this market, a 200% stock could become a 1,000% stock, that type of thing. But I did like the painted higher lows. And then when these moves didn't go here, when these moves started stalling, I was just reading the book and it did a little trick. I'll pull up Seco, but they do a trick where it touches support and they do a big initiation. You can see the initiation come in here, right? They do a big initiation and then it rolls over and it dies, right? And I've seen this trick multiple times in my career. We'll go to Seco. I'll show you Seco doing it. I also shorted Seco with the same thing, right? Seco had, if we go from here all the way to here, pretty symmetrical higher lows. Right here, you could see the same pattern. Starts to approach it, does a crazy high volume push, relatively high volume push. It gets rejected, it rolls over and dies. I shorted this. So AIMD is the same thing. Big high volume push off of support. But the book, what does the book look like? The book looks like this. Here's that move. Here's the move. So they soaked. There was like a huge bid here. It was like 140,000 shares or something. They sold into about half of it. They rotated it, and when they rotated it, you could see right here, they put 130K ask on the book that wasn't there. See, it goes from 17K to 133, right? And they do it right as an initiation happens. So that's when I shorted it. And then the rest of this bid got taken out, and then all the higher lows got broken, and it went straight down, right? Just straight down. And then I just covered into the into this was like sub 5-minute 200, and then I took a little bit off. I took the rest off. I mean sub 2, so it was nice, which is funny because this short was at like 2.7, so that ends up being like a 25% short. So not bad. I'm kind of mad about missing PBM at the top short side, but it was nice to see some manipulated action, short action with actual follow through, right? It was nice to see that. So that's the video for today. Information down below about the Discord. A lot of the longs have been cleaner than the shorts, but there's definitely short opportunity out there. So, and we'll see what next week brings. Who knows? It seems like the whole semiconductor market, index push is kind of pulling back a bit. We'll see if there's any continue weakness in the market. I don't know. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of like bull market craziness right now. So who knows? Maybe 2024 will have a lot of weeks and months like this. We'll see. So, anyways, that's it for today, and you guys have a good one. See ya.